Hello, beautiful and powerful women. Welcome to Susan Unleashed. This podcast is for any woman who wants to live a gorgeous life on her terms and who knows that not only is being a woman enough, it is the key to everything. I'm your host, Susan Elizabeth, certified professional coach, #1 best-selling author, and Energy Leadership Index master practitioner. I fiercely support women who are passionate about elevating their lives while embracing their truest selves. Are you ready to unleash your power? Hello, gorgeous women. Welcome to this week's episode of Raising Your Energy. Why? Because when you live a high vibe life, you have so much more joy and abundance and so much more that's available to you because like attracts like. You attract who you are. You attract what you are and what you're resonating at. So I want to talk about different energy levels today in this episode. And I want to talk about awareness around that because when you choose where you want to put your energy and how you want to live, you are so much more powerful and so much more in control of your life. And it's the awareness. Everything starts with awareness. So first, I want to go through some different energy levels. And then I also want to talk about stress response because when we are under stress, we have a tendency to respond a certain way energetically as well. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And here's the thing. At the end of the episode, I'm also going to talk to you about one of the tools I was trained in as well, which is the Energy Leadership Index. And this is something that I offer as a service. And it's a really, really cool tool that I have been trained in that I've been using with my clients for quite a while now. And it's really insightful about energy levels, where you're resonating at just on a day-to-day basis, or where you might be resonating at under stress. So that way you can quickly, because of your awareness, you can quickly move into a different energy, right? Or raise your energy. So a little bit about energy, everything is an energy. Money is an energy. We are energy. There's energy in everything. And there's different levels of energy. And there's slow energy and fast energy. And it's also like a life force within us. I mean, your heartbeat is an energy. So when we think about energy, the key is that we want to live a real high energy life, right? And I'm not talking about moving fast. I'm talking about living in the highest vibe of energy that is available to us. Because when we do that, we're going to have so much more joy and passion and pleasure and flow and ease. And that's the real secret. And that's the key. We're going to get out of victimization. We're going to get out of tolerating. We're going to get out of anger. And your vibe attracts your tribe and then you thrive. So I really want to make sure that you're aware of the different energy levels. So there's actually a whole range of energy levels. And I think I want to start with one of the energy levels that's probably a real low energy level place is that of kind of the victim. It's victim energy. And victim energy it's kind of a low, slow energy. It's a place where if you're aware, see, the reason why I want to talk about all of this, because when you're aware of all the energy levels, you can live in choice. My cat died about a half a year ago, and I had to go to a victim energy, meaning apathy and lethargy, and I needed to go take care of myself because I had such grief, and I needed a place to express my grief. I needed to feel my grief. And so I needed to go to a place of victimization. My beautiful cat, he was a beautiful boy. He passed away of cancer. And it was just heartbreaking. And I did everything for this animal to help him get better and realizing he's not going to get better. So when you live in a a vibrational or higher energetic level, you then have more choice of what energy level you want to go to. So I purposely went to victim energy. Like, why did this happen to him? Why did it happen to me? Why did it happen to us? And at the same time, it's a going with inward. It's a turning inward. It's a me energy. It's a place where I needed to go to deal with my grief and my sadness and my pain. And it was a place where I went and stayed for a while so I could process that and I could do the work to move through that grief and that loss that I had in my life with my beautiful animal. And there's times I've witnessed so many times where people will go to a victim energy, but not by choice. They'll go there because they feel like, or they'll actually spend a lot of time there throughout their lives, which is a very disempowered place. They're going to spend time there because they feel like they don't have any choice. They're very disempowered. They blame everything on everybody else outside of them. Think about it. And victims don't need to do the work. They just want to sit there, be the victim, and not take any action. Blame everything on everybody outside of them, or situations or circumstances outside of them. So there's a time and a place to go to, a place of apathy or this energy that's just you need to turn in, but also recognizing victim energy in others. And when you see that, it's a very pervasive place that I've seen many people go and live, and they just don't want to take action, and they want to blame, and they just want to just be in their space. Even things like, he made me feel this way, she made me feel this way, completely disowning everything, not taking any empowerment, being disempowered, and just blaming everything on the outside world. So that's a little bit about kind of the victimization. It's a very low level of energy. It's a very going inward place. There's another place of energy, which is a little bit more of it's a me place, but it's also an action energy. And that's one of like an anger type of energy. It's a place where there's massive action. It's anger. It's feeling rage. It's a place of, it's still all about me, but it's a place where it's a strong and powerful emotion, but it's a motivating place. It's a motivating energy. When something happened to somebody, that if they feel anger, they're going to go take action. They're either going to lash out, they're going to yell, they're going to react, they're going to respond very aggressively, or they're going to respond with a direction and intention and forward movement. So it's a place where if you can go there by choice, like if you're aware something happens, you recognize what you think about it, and then you might feel anger. Then if you choose to respond consciously and take action to correct something, push through something, move through something, it can be a very, very powerful place to go. And it's one of the best ways to motivate people to make really impactful decisions, even quick decisions. And the thing that's important is that you go there by choice. That's really the key. And I think if you go there by reaction, which so many people react to anger in a very reaction place. Sometimes there's some regrets. Sometimes it causes a lot of pain towards others, lashing out. Yeah, it's a place where if you go there by intention because you're aware of how you're feeling, then it can be very empowering. It can move you forward. So it's a very forward moving energy as well. It's action oriented. So those are two energy levels, victim and then anger. I want to talk before I move on to some others. I want to talk a little bit about stress response because most times, most people will immediately fall into victim energy, then they will move right up into anger energy. So for example, like a stress response, if something happens to me, my stress response, when I took this through the energy leadership, I go right to victim, but I don't stay there long. I get quickly out of it. I move right to anger and I take action, and then I move up to higher energy levels. So when that's a normal stress response. And then sometimes people go right to anger and then they'll go into victim energy. Like, okay, and then they'll stay in that place of kind of disempowerment. But again, the whole key and the whole secret here is through choice. So another level or another place where you can be at in an energetic space is like a tolerating or a rationalizing space. And this tolerating space, it's either personally tolerating people or situations continuously. And it might seem like it might seem like there's a capacity to tolerate and rationalize things away or rationalize bad behavior. And I think of, in this particular energy, there could also be a sense of relief that comes along with it, because you just kind of have a hard time with something. Maybe you're past feeling like a victim. You don't feel the anger, but you're in a place where you have to accept it, but you tolerate it. So that gives you some kind of relief. Like you're dealing with it. Maybe it's a job that you're in, or maybe it's even a relationship that you're in that you're tolerating. But that, I know I've coached some women who they're in relationships that they're tolerating, and they know that they don't want to be there, but they haven't yet had the courage to take action, to move forward, to move out of it. Some women have outgrown their partners, their husbands, but yet they've created a whole life and they don't want to disrupt that life, and they're very comfortable in it. So sometimes they have to stay in it longer, and it becomes so painful that they decide to take action and move forward. Other times they've tolerated it and they've even rationalized it. But there's no right or wrong in any of this. I'm just really bringing awareness, and it's really about personal choice. And the key on all of this is awareness. Where are you resonating at? How are you dealing with things? Where do you want to go? And I like to resonate at a higher place, because then I can go to any other energy level by choice. I can go to anger. I can go to apathy. I can go to tolerating. There's been many, many times I've tolerated people in my life. I've tolerated situations. I've even tolerated certain jobs in my career path in my life. But then I find a way to move out of it, or I move on from it. And that's the key. It's understanding where you're at or what's happening. And then when it feels right, when it's the right time to do so, you move on from that in whatever direction that is for you. So another energy level beyond that is one of serving and service. So this is helping others, providing, serving, guiding, sharing, teaching. It's giving of yourself for the betterment of others, but there's also serving yourself as well. And this is really important, because so many times as women, come on, who's done this now? We've given so much of ourselves away to everybody else outside of us. Come on. Like, it's time to make sure that we come back to ourselves and serve ourselves too, because it's kind of like you're investing in your own bank. You're investing back in yourself, so that way you can bring back out to the world for how you want to serve. So I love to serve others, because I love to teach. I love to guide. I love to mentor. I love to coach. That is a big part of who I am. But with that, I make sure I serve myself. See, that's the difference. I am so intentional with my time and my calendar that I am reinvesting my energy in serving myself. There's a fine line between giving ourselves away and serving others, and then serving ourselves. And we must be aware of that. So next, another energy level is, it's coming up with, it's living in a place of, if I win, you win. We're both winning. It's like a win-win situation. And it's a higher level of energy, because it's not tolerating, it's not anger, it's not lethargy or apathy or victimization, it's not over-serving. When we live in this energy, we get to live in a place where we're not taking things personally. And it's really about going into and vibrating at a situation or or with another person where you're both winning, you're both having an outcome that suits both of you. And when we live in this energy, it's really about peace and acceptance of what's going on. It's not tolerating or rationalizing. It's really truly accepting. It's calm, it's peace, it's confidence. You actually feel flow and ease when you're living in this higher level of awareness. I live a lot in level 5, and in this fifth level of energy. But I also go to higher, there's a couple higher other levels of energy too, but I like to live in these higher levels of energy because then I'm working for the good of my clients, but I'm also learning it and journeying at the same time. And I'm living in confidence. I'm living in peace. I'm living in harmony. I'm living in flow. And so when I think for me, a little story about where I was living at. I was always in a controlling. I was always living from a place of control, which was a very tolerating, but then also very anger place as well. And I was controlling everything in my life, at work, at home, and I used control to cover up my insecurities and it was judgment too. I had a lot of judgment. I was stressed. I was hard. I was very linear. And I think when I started digging and doing the work and kind of digging underneath, why was I living this way? Why was I so afraid of change? Why was I stuck? Why was I so controlling? Why was I a perfectionist? Then I was becoming more aware and I could start shifting my energy, doing my work, shattering limiting beliefs, overcoming assumptions, overcoming the blocks in my mind that I'd created, shattering things, opening up and becoming more vulnerable and sharing myself. And when I became more aware of where I was resonating at, I could then start living in and choosing how I wanted to energetically show up in my life. And so now, living in higher energy levels, like there's so much more ease and peace and flow. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. Okay, so another energy level is like a more passionate. So there's another energy level where you're really operating at a very, very high level of energy. You're not living there all the time because it's a very high level of energy to hold, and that's really about living in this place of just intuition and flow and ease. And there's these higher energy levels that there's oneness and you're tapping into passion and you're living from a place of like creation. And you can go to these places. I go to these places quite often, but I can't live there all the time because life is happening and I'm doing things in my life, and it's a beautiful place to go live in these higher vibrations and these higher energy levels. And it is possible. We can all do this. And I love when I'm living in my creativity, I'm living in my passion and play and fun and ease and flow. And this oneness and this deep connection with the divine and with others is occurring. And this happens, and it happens in my life. And I try to do it daily. And as I'm living in these other places, I then get to look at my life and I get to choose to go to other energy levels as I see fit as well, because I'm living in a place of such awareness and such empowerment. Okay, so with that, that's just a little explanation of the different energy levels that we all have that are available to all of us that we can live in. And here's the thing, and here's what I want you all to know. It's really the awareness that comes along with each of these energy levels, and then living there by choice. Are you tolerating? Are you rationalizing? Are you overserving? Are you living in win-win situations? Are you living in anger because you're resenting? Are you living in apathy and lethargy and victimization? Are you living in passion and peace and flow and connectedness and oneness and a sense of just beautiful flow and ease and grace? And that's what I want to share with you is I have tools, and a tool that I've been trained in that is an energy leadership index tool that is a really beautiful, powerful tool for awareness that I can guide people through and take people through. That is a beautiful learning opportunity to shift your space, to raise your energy levels, and to bring awareness to the different energy levels, and to bring awareness so that way you can choose to raise your energy and raise your vibration. Because when you have higher vibe levels, you have so much more in your life available to you besides starting with awareness. You have more joy, health, freedom, abundance, prosperity, better relationships. It's all connected. So I invite you to go look at my website, Susan Elizabeth Coaching, look at the Energy Leadership Index tool, and schedule a session with me, because it's a really powerful way of of how you're leading with your energy. And I've used this with coaching women who are in leadership positions. And it's a great tool for when you're in leadership because you have such awareness of how you're resonating, and you can help others who are resonating at certain levels. And we go into this in the tool. But it's a really, really cool tool to use. I love it. I've learned so much by going through the process and by the coaching that I've done with many people through the Energy Leadership Index. The stress response, when they learn how to deal with stress better, in addition to how they're showing up and raising their energy levels to have so much more in their life, it's a beautiful, beautiful tool, which is why I wanted to spend time talking about this today in one of my podcasts, because it really is a game changer. It helps to create change and transformation in your life through a really simple tool. And this tool brings such awareness about your energy. So you can tell I'm super, super passionate about it. So with that, please check it out. Please go to my website. Go look for the service that I offer around Energy Leadership Index, because it's an ELI, and I'm a master practitioner with this. And it's a really wonderful, wonderful way to get some deep insights in a really short period of time. You will take an online assessment. I think it's like 70 questions. You answer them. I review your responses. I prepare a report, and then I give you a debrief, and we walk through your energy levels, and it shows you how you're showing up at each energy level. And then we go through some ways where you can actually shift your energy. And we talk about that, how your leadership is through those energy levels, or just how you're showing up through those. Okay, that's it for this week, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I am so grateful always that you're here and you're with me on this journey, and so joyful that I get to share some of my tools like I did today with you, and some of my learnings that I had to be able to share with you today. And I will look forward to seeing you in our next episode. So make it a great week, and think about your energy and how you're resonating with a little bit more awareness around this. And I would love to hear from you. Okay, cheers, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave me a review or share it with someone else who may enjoy it too. To stay connected with me, please head on over to SusanElizabethCoaching.com and make sure that you sign up for my tips on how to live an unleashed life full of passion and purpose. Until next time, go live an unleashed life.